Hey everybody, I don't really know the direction this video is about to go. And the reason is because I haven't fully figured out exactly what I want to say in regards to one-sided relationships. I don't know what the lesson is. One of the focuses that I try to have on my page is that there's a lesson that I've either learned or I'm trying to incorporate into my life, whatever. Because I've said several times, like, I know this is a lesson in life. I know it to be true, but I don't have it mastered yet. So I guess I haven't mastered one-sided relationships yet. Okay, so one of the things that was sent to me was, as long as you manage your expectations and know you will not receive anything, you just want to invest in that friendship. Not mutual, not reciprocal, just an opportunity for you to be a blessing. And that only applies to friendships, not intimate or romantic relationships. That should not be one-sided. There will be seasons where one has to give more because of health or grief or other things, but that's always just for a season. So I loved this response so much because I feel that it's very true. I don't feel like your romantic or intimate relationships or life partners or marriages should be one-sided. Absolutely not. I think a vast amount of communication and listening and understanding and compromise needs to happen so that both parties feel heard, acknowledged, seen, respected, cared for, satisfied, all of that good stuff. So when I say one-sided, I definitely want to exclude the romantic part of it, at least in this video, because I don't think that should be a thing. That is part of the reason why I broke up with my girlfriend. Anyways, so I guess I'm struggling because I'm not sure when to just let things go. There's one relationship in particular that I have that is, I haven't let it go because it still kind of bothers me, right? So if you're being 100%, you can't say you're over something if it continues to bother you. I don't feel personally that something that continues to bother you is something that you're over. I think that if it's bothering you, you ain't over it. So I'm not particularly over this situation. However, admittedly, I don't know that I want to put in any more work in it. I think what I would really like is understanding. I want to understand A, what the problem is, why it's one-sided. B, how did we get here? And to a certain extent, C, how do we move forward? Whether it be as a mutual understanding of like, hey, I love you, but you know, I'll be over here. Or are we gonna work on this? The problem with the are we gonna work on this is that I've done that before already, and it confirms that the relationship is one-sided. I refuse to put in all of the work. One quote that I posted recently was, you are 100% responsible for your half of any relationship that you have. I take full responsibility in my part in all of my relationships, whether good, bad, indifferent, going through a rough time, going through a great time, whatever the case may be. If I'm at fault, if I'm not at fault, I take responsibility for that. In this particular relationship, though, it's kind of got a weird dynamic, and I find that the reason why it's bothering me now is because it's apparently impacting another relationship where, from what I can tell, I am the issue. I feel weird about it, and the only things that I can think of so I understand there's also a process, right? Like I'm very much all about communication and say what's on your mind and figure things out and blah, 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 blah. However, I also understand that there's sometimes a process in having those conversations, right? Like I've told you guys before, one of the friendships that I ended recently, I went through a very long process of, I don't know what the problem is. I just feel all of a sudden a certain way about this person, right? So if that's something that's taking place, I get that, but also like, let me know that there is something happening, right? So that would be a lesson that I took from that. And a lesson that I did put into that relationship a couple of times, like, hey, I'm not feeling this. Like, why this particular situation made me feel some type of way, makes me feel uncomfortable. Can we not have it happen again? Whatever. Anyways, so I don't know how to handle one-sided relationships other than to be like, gave you this warning again and again and again and again, and I'm done. Once I've reached a certain level, I find it hard to have sympathy when said person tells me how much they miss me, or like when we finally do spend time together, talk about, oh, we always have fun and we should hang out and we never hang out and you never call me. And it's like, well, no, I don't call you because I told you I was gonna not call you anymore. I told you that you would have to take on some responsibility in this relationship. I told you I was going to stop chasing you. It's not my fault that you didn't believe me, number one. It's also not something I feel you should be surprised about, that I stopped calling, I stopped reaching out, I stopped making an effort when I told you that was going to happen. I told you several times that would happen. I don't dislike you. I don't, not care about you. I don't hate you by any stretch of the imagination. And obviously, if I'm feeling some type of way about our relationship, I definitely do care about you. There has to, again, I don't feel like you can be over a situation or over a relationship or over a person and still feel so much about the situation. I don't think those two things go together. Just my opinion. So as it relates to one-sided relationships, I'm a work in progress because I don't really know what to do. I've been told, well, why don't you have a conversation? Well, I can have a conversation about it. That's not the problem. I can definitely have a conversation about it. The reason why I haven't had the conversation is because I don't know what I want to come out of it. I don't know what I expect to come out of it. And what I am fearful of is, if the expectation is that we will work on the relationship, being disappointed yet again. I very much have too much experience with being disappointed by people's promises, or broken promises would be a better word, and telling me things are going to be one way when they're not, by very close people in my life. My parents, for one. Let's just keep it real. And I feel like that has sort of damaged me in two different ways, in the sense that when it comes to certain relationships in my life, I will quickly get rid of people. But more times than not, I don't get rid of people fast enough, and I let those relationships cause more hurt and damage than I deserve, or than, give them more time than they deserve in my life. It also has provided a platform for me to, once I get to a level of I'm done, I'm not sympathetic. Like very much the, oh, I miss you and you never call me. You're right, I don't call you because I said I wasn't going to. What do you mean? And yeah, I do miss you and I do miss us hanging out, but I'm done putting in all the effort. If you miss us so much, then reach out. If you care about me so much, then reach out. If you want our relationship to look different, you play a major part in that. And I cannot be the only player. Admittedly, there are people in my life that probably have deserved more chances than they got. And there are absolutely people in my life that have gotten more chances than they deserve. So I think part of my thing with one-sided relationships is where to draw the line, where's the boundary, where's the cutoff, how do I make that more consistent for every relationship that is in my life or maybe will show up in my life later. That way people know, like, which I don't fully understand why people don't know that I mean what I say and say what I mean and all that stuff, because at some point on some level in every relationship that I have, I've shown that. But again, I guess it would come with the fact that some people haven't had as many chances as they deserve, and some people got way more than they deserve. So I guess that's the understanding there. This is literally how my brain works. I know I've said that before, but that's part of the reason why I like doing these videos, is because I hope that it will help people to feel like they're not alone, is my biggest thing. But for myself, I hope that it illustrates how my brain in fact works, because having a conversation with me can sometimes be pretty intense. I understand that having conversations with me can be exhausting and intense, and it's because my brain is constantly looking at things from as many different perspectives as I can come up with on my own, let alone when I start asking for insight. But I ask for insight because I would like to expand my understanding or my viewpoint, or the many perspectives that can come with whatever topic that I'm talking about. With that being said, I guess this will be a video that will maybe have a part 2 at some point, or a sister video if I ever figure out how I will be dealing with one-sided relationships moving forward, and how I will be dealing with the one that's currently been on my mind. Again, there definitely needs to be a conversation had, but I think, again, so many times the same cycle has happened that I feel like the change can't come from me. Like, I'm open to it, but it can't be initiated by me, and it can't only be by me. And so that's where I'm at now. And again, I think, I don't know if I can't remember now if I mentioned this, but the dynamic of the relationship is weird because it impacts another relationship. So I'm not talking about intimate or romantic relationships. Ain't nobody cheating on anybody in this. It's all like a friendship level thing. So don't get it twisted. This is not about putting anybody's business out on the streets. So maybe one day it'll become a pensive Pilar conversation, and because that would be kind of dope to get both perspectives, or even all 3 perspectives of what's happening. But I hope to have a part 2 in a sense of this, because I want to deliver a video to you guys to kind of let you know what's been on my mind, but I don't know the lesson yet. You know, one person said just buy or whatever, and as much as I would love for that to be a thing, like, not everybody has that. I don't even have that. What was it that she said? Hold on. Leave it. LOL. Easy. If they aren't putting effort, why should I? Laugh out loud. Bye. Yeah. Makes perfect sense. Makes perfect, complete, logical sense. And I wish that strength and that attitude for anybody dealing with a one-sided relationship, including myself, but I don't have that. And so that's why I'm doing this. Okay, I feel like I'm starting to sound like a broken record. So comments, advice, and all of that stuff is always welcome. So feel free to leave it. And hopefully I will get my situation worked out soon, and I can provide you with an update and any lessons that I've learned. I have a feeling, though, that once I get it situated, it's going to be something that should have been talked about a long time ago. I have a feeling that it's a long overdue conversation that will put things in the proper direction, whatever that direction looks like, whether it's ending the relationship altogether or pushing it on a moving forward to let's be stronger type deal, or anything in between. So anyways, I'll catch y'all later. Let me know if you have any other insight on this particular topic. Listen to your gut and your intuition. Love yourself. Communicate. And yeah. Sorry, I'm literally all over the place. That's why I've been posting different things about it to try to get a direction. So I'll talk to y'all later. Love you guys. Bye.